Okay, hosts, we're down to our final questions. What is your weekday pricing? Annette, we'll start with you. What's your answer?
My average daily rate during the week is $100.
Sarah, let's see your answer.
It depends. I use dynamic pricing.
Okay, hosts, final question. What is your weekend rate? Annette, let's see your answer.
That would be $225.
Sarah, what is your answer?
It varies. I use dynamic pricing. If you aren't using dynamic pricing,
You could be leaving so much money on the table. So what is dynamic pricing? We have all most likely used it. It emerged in the 80s with airlines. So, if you're flying, let's say from New York to LA, it's not the same price Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, January through December.
it's not the same price within hours.
Right.
If you're searching on Tuesday at 2, it's going to be a different price Tuesday at 5.
It's dynamic and it's wonderful for both the consumer and the company. So let's talk about all the variables, all of the things that feed into what dynamic pricing is. Started with the airlines and then it trickled into hotels and now, lucky for us, short-term rentals.
I know what you're thinking, but Sarah, Annette, Airbnb has smart pricing, and they do. But here's what you have to understand. Airbnb is looking out for Airbnb's best interests, right? They have to bring in revenue. Now that they're public, they've got owners that they have to, or investors that they have to be successful for. So it's not a smart idea to leave your pricing strategy to the platform that really has their best interests in mind. Again, we love Airbnb. It is our favorite marketing tool. They bring us a lot of leads. But when it comes to our revenue management, we take our pricing strategy with a third-party dynamic pricing vendor.
Now that we've advised you not to use the free smart pricing from Airbnb, let's talk about those dynamic pricing softwares and how they actually charge for the expertise they're bringing to the table. There's two different ways. One is there are monthly subscriptions per property, so it'll just be a flat rate fee that you can depend on every single month that app is going to charge you. Or there's a secondary way that they charge, which is a per reservation fee. They take a fraction, a portion of each of those reservations. Those are the two different types of ways that these dynamic pricing softwares price their products.
Let's talk about what dynamic pricing can afford you, aside from the fact that they have an unbiased view towards the pricing, other than what the data and what you are telling the software to do. Again, unlike Airbnb, where at the core of it, they're really gonna have their best interests in mind in getting your place booked, but potentially could be at the lowest price possible. Because here's the thing, there is a market for your home, your apartment, your condo, whatever it is that you are sharing with travelers, there's a market for it. And so if you are undercutting what the market is willing to pay, that is how you are leaving money on the table. So these dynamic pricing softwares collects data, and not just from other short-term rentals and what they're getting, but hotels, what are the airline activity, what events are going on in your town, and you can see all this. And then they compare apples to apples. So if you have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, they're going to compare you with other 1-bedroom, 1-baths. There are some variables that they may not factor in, and that's where this is an art and a science. The one misconception that we hear the most is that, well, I set the pricing and now I feel like it doesn't really understand my property. Well, right, you have to put yourself into your revenue management strategy, because only you know your property like you know your property. So if you know you are the only one with a hot tub within a 5-mile radius, then you know that you can maybe charge a little bit more. Or let's say there's some things that you're working against, like the 2 houses next to you never mow their lawn. Whatever that is, you can go in, see what the data is sharing with you, see what numbers it spits out, and then you can finesse it. And I think the most important thing is to track it. You can't measure the success if you don't track the numbers. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're in one season. It's a high season, low season, whatever. It's a season though. And so you can say, okay, I've been getting these prices Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then write that down. And so a month from then, look back and see at that pricing and see if your occupancy has stayed the same. Has it gone higher? Has it dramatically dipped? You have to see how the data is performing with your property. So unfortunately, it's not set it and forget it, but if anything in business, I don't know what is. What else does it do? It can also do some really great rules. So let's say you want to be really aggressive when you have an orphan night, so a vacant night, right? So you've got a booking here and a booking here, but this day here is it hasn't been booked yet. So the software will automatically take it to the pricing that you set it to take it to. Or maybe there's a minimum stay that you want to set or a maximum stay that you want to set. You can be more aggressive the further out. You can be more price friendly as the closer the guest gets to the date, the booking. So, but it depends, because if your marketplace, if people are booking 3 to 5 days out, maybe you keep your prices actually a little bit higher to meet that demand. Dynamic pricing will help you see all of those strategies, and they have this great dashboard where you can look at it all in one place. But again, you have to make sure you are putting your CFO hat on and being a part of the dynamic pricing software strategy.
Data over drama. This is what we get the most when hosts start to use dynamic pricing. They freak out.
They get uncomfortable.
These prices seem so high. I don't know if I can command this price. Be patient and look at the data over the drama. You've got to let the pricing, the dynamic software do its job. Don't freak out and just go back to your old pricing.
Yeah, you have to give it time, right? You have to get some stats. So sometimes that might be a month that, wasn't as great as you wanted it to be, but you're never going to know what your true potential is until you throw that spaghetti on the wall, see what sticks, get some historicals.
It's not spaghetti on the wall. It is letting the algorithm do its work. It's going to take time. It's going to get better over time. And what we found, almost every host that we've talked to, once they get over that initial they are sending us DMs, emails, talking to us about, OMG, I cannot believe how much money I made on these certain nights. So you've got to let it cascade. You've got to let it ebb and flow, and be patient. It will get better over time. If you want more tips like this every week, smash that sub button, because we're going to keep it coming.